Hello, Football Manager World. You're watching the newest Football Manager channel on YouTube, FM American Style. We're back here at AS Saint Etienne in France. In today's video, we're going to discuss the user interface. We'll go through the messages in the inbox that you get when you first start a new save. And then at the end of the video, stick around because I've got a special tip for you guys that may make things a little bit easier for you, so stick around for that. So the user interface, I know, has come under a lot of fire. There are things that I like about it. There are things that I don't. On this overview screen under the portal, I don't like this front screen because I can't change any of these panels. In previous versions of Football Manager, and I know this is not a previous version, this is a new game, it's different, I realize that. But in previous versions, you could select a different panel for here. And for instance, it makes no sense to me to have fixture schedule here at the top right, which includes my upcoming friendly matches. And then right here in the middle, it has matches, which are only my League 2 matches coming up. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why would I have that and then this on the right? That doesn't make sense. The calendar's fine. I don't really need it, but okay, it's there. I'd rather have something like transfer information or the medical center or something like that here, but I can't change any of it. Here on the right is an interesting thing. So we know we have the League 2 standings here at the table. If you click on stages, you can instantly go to season preview, and we all know this screen from older versions of FM tells me who's favored to win the league, who's going to finish in the middle, who's going to be relegated, all that kind of stuff. And thankfully, or I guess you could say it's a bonus that Saint Etienne is favored to win the league, so that's great. Over here on the right, though, I'm not happy because it used to be that you could see the top 2 players from every team on the right, and now you only get to see the top 5 in the league, which I don't like. I would like to see the top 2 on my team. Obviously, Saint Etienne has numerous players that are some of the best in the league. Our goalkeeper, I believe it's 1 defenseman, 2 midfielders, and both strikers are all considered the best in the league, so that's great. But it'd be nice to have the old style where you could see the top 2 players in every league, because sometimes I didn't agree with what the media, quote unquote, said were my top 2 players. So anyway, that's one tip for you. Back to the portal overview. What I do like are these drop-down menus. I think they're very intuitive. You just put your mouse over the drop-down arrow. You don't even have to click, and they drop right down. Then you can click on them as need be. Obviously, what Sports Interactive did was, instead of having 9 menus on the left with 5 items in each menu, you now have 5 item menus at the top with 9 items or more in each menu. In some of the menus, it's a lot more. So okay, that will take some getting used to, but we'll get used to it. Some things don't make a lot of sense to me though, such as under club at the bottom, you've got transfer history. Why isn't transfer history under recruitment? Because it's part of recruitment, right? But okay, it's under club, so that's fine. One thing that I did find annoying was being able to find budgets and stuff like that, and whether or not I could adjust them. I'll show you a couple of tips here. So if you want to know whether or not your club has debt, you can go to club and finances and then click on debt and loans and get it here. So that's fine. It's a couple of extra clicks that you don't really need to do, I don't think, but that's fine. So looking at Saint Etienne, we have a total debt of 32.74 million, but it looks like most of that's been paid off, and there's just 4.6 million left to pay, and that's going to be over the next 24 years to go at 109,000 a month. So that's pretty manageable. I wish there was a way, and I've always wanted this in previous versions of FM. I wish there was a way I could say, okay, I've got 10 million in the bank. Just go ahead and pay off this debt. But that option isn't there. So that's one way to find debt. There are other ways to do it. But let's say you wanted to find out your transfer budget, which I had trouble finding at first, but it's here. If you go to recruitment and click overview, it shows your transfer budget on the right here, 4 million. It says I have a wage budget of 0 and a scouting budget of 451K. But I don't have the ability to edit these numbers at all. There used to be a slider where you could click on something and pull up a slider to be able to try and adjust this, because I'd love to dump some or all of this money from transfer budget into wage budget. But that's not here. But it is in the game. If you go to recruitment again and go to recruitment budgets, then click on adjust transfer and wage budget, and then you get that slider. So it's a couple of extra clicks. Again, I think it didn't need to be that buried under multiple menus, but that's where it is for now. Maybe they'll change that in the future. Unfortunately, it's saying at the end right now, they're not allowing me to change the budgets at all. It is my first day, so that's not surprising. But that's how to find that stuff. So let's go through the messages that I get at the beginning of a save. We'll talk about them really quickly. The ones that need to be acted upon, I think I can do a couple of them, and I'm going to ignore a couple of them, and I'll explain why as we get to them. This one just tells me about the club. Yeah, whatever. I know it tells me the facilities. It tells me what league, etc. So that's fine. The next one, and here's a tip for you. I know a lot of people have complained about the old way to navigate through messages by hitting the space bar. You can still do it, but instead of the space bar, it's the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard if you're using a PC. So you can do it that way. So there's a little tip for you. So the second message here is about, basically it's the news conference thing from when I was hired as a coach. Okay, whatever, don't care. The next one is supporter profile. So it's telling me about the fan base. All right, that's great. That's fine. Why facilities is over here, I don't know. That really doesn't have anything to do with the fan base, but okay, it's there. The same with club vision. That sort of has something to do with the fan base, but not exactly. So that probably doesn't need to be there. The next one is club vision, which we just saw on the last screen. And this one I have to hit OK to, or I can try and negotiate. But my experience has been, even when you've been at a club for a decade, there's no negotiating. You can't change anything. They won't accept it. So I just accept the current vision. I don't even bother trying to argue anymore. It doesn't make sense. Maybe someday I'll give it a shot just to see if the board is more amenable to making changes, but for right now, I'm not going to. The next one is tactics induction or introduction. They used to call it induction. Now they call it introduction. I'm going to skip this one for now for the simple reason that I don't even know my team. So how can I make a tactic? Of course, unfortunately, we only have 7 days until our first friendly. So I'm going to have to develop a tactic quickly and get my players training on it. So I'll have to come to that probably in tomorrow's video. But for now, I'm going to leave it. The next one after tactics is staff responsibilities. Again, I'm going to come back to that. I have to see what my coaching staff looks like and then see if I need to make changes. And then we'll come back to that at the end. The next thing is squad introduction. So I'll go ahead and click on that and begin that introduction just to see what it tells me. It's telling me who the captain is, etc., etc. I'm going to hit continue. I'm not reading any of these. I think I understand the game well enough to know what it's what it's telling me and what it's not. So I'm just going to continue through them. I mainly just want to finish the actionable item on that email. So I'm going to take a very close look at the squad in a future video, probably starting tomorrow. It may even be more than one video. We'll see. But for now, I'm just going to continue through all these screens. I'm not going to bother reading any of it. And there we go. Nope, still not done yet. All right, and there I can end the introduction. So there we go. We're done with that one. The next is preseason preparation. Obviously, we need to learn a tactic. So I've got to figure out how to do that. I'm not going to cancel the training camp, obviously. So for now, I'm going to leave this message alone until I understand what it wants me to do. The next one is showing me whether or not we have injuries. Right now, we do not, so that's great. And the last one is squad selection rules, which is the League 2 rules. And that's all well and good. I know how pretty much all of it works. So that's a basic overview of the user interface, a couple of tips and tricks, and going through all the initial messages in the inbox. Before we continue, let me just say, please like this video, comment down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're a brand new channel. We need every subscriber we can get. If you like and comment, that tells the YouTube algorithm that you like me. So please do that. And don't forget to hit that subscriber bell when you do subscribe, so that way you'll never miss another video. So please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. All right, so here we go at the end of the video, but I am going to show you a little trick. So you've probably, or maybe not, have come across this little guy up here. This is the FMpedia, basically the Football Manager Wikipedia, which is fine. You can come in here and you can click on stuff and it will show you articles and stuff like that. But that's all well and good. If you're brand new to the game, obviously there's probably some information in there that's really important that you need to learn. Okay, that's fine. But here's a tip I bet no one has told you before. If you click on search and type in debt, for instance, it shows you what your debt is, your current debt, your total debt, and you can click on debt and loans right away and go right to that screen. Let's say I want tactics. So if I type in tactics, it will show me both how to get to the tactics screen right there, and on the right it will show you the FMpedia article on tactics. But if I click on tactics on the left, it takes me right to the tactics screen. So there you go. Almost everything I've found so far can be found through the search menu. You sometimes have to be a little bit tricky about how you word things to find it. For example, to find the transfer budgets, you have to put budget. And there you go. Then if you type in budget, under layouts, it shows you 4 million transfer budget, 0 wage budget, and 461K scouting budget. And then there are the Wikipedia or the FMpedia article on how to deal with that. But yeah, right there, transfer budget and scouting budget. So yeah, go to the search bar and type in anything, any screen you're looking for, and hopefully it will pop up. So thanks for watching today. In the next video, we'll start looking actually at AS Saint Etienne and maybe prepare to start building a tactic, and we'll go from there. Have a good one.